Yes, the Crack SPSC team has predicted quite a few questions in the past year's paper of SPSC and almost 11 questions for the combined recruitment main exams. Let me show you how we do it. It's just playing with probability here and there, but it's pretty interesting and super helpful for your preparation. Step is just breaking down the past year's paper, and you can just get the past year's paper in SPSC's question bank. For example, let's take the paper for combined recruitment mains. So what I've done is I've divided them into general awareness, current affairs, ancient history, modern history, the subtopics, and further divided them into further subtopics, the micro topics, and then exactly what the questionnaire is. So I do this for a lot of exams. Keep on doing it. And then based on this, I form a cumulative Venn diagram to see what comes the most. Alright, let's pause here and let me give you a quick example. Let's take this question from Assistant Architect 2024 exam. A crater in Moon's south pole is named after which of the following women mountaineer? So it falls under space, yes, it falls under sports, and it falls under women. Now you create enough Venn diagram to predict these kind of questions. So like a predictable probability model, right? Here is the cumulative analysis, and I think you're kind of surprised to know that it's economics that comes the most or has come the most, and then it's current affairs, science, geography, and then history. A lot of us tend to think that, oh my god, humanities folks have an advantage because they have been studying all these subjects from a really long time. History is long, there's so many things, but apparently the frequency is not that much. So we should rather be focusing more on economics and history. We should be focusing on what I'm gonna tell you later, but it's economics that comes the most. And what of economics? Let's look at this. Alright, let's see what we should focus on for each topic. For economics, focus on Indian economy, and under Indian economy, especially focus on government initiatives, and not just of national level, but government initiatives of different states, schemes, human development schemes, poverty, health schemes, education schemes, and definitely schemes that are in Northeast, Sikkim. Next, focus on indexes, World Sustainable Development Goals, reports by Niti Aayog. And finally, basic definitions, key terms of economics, such as what is urbanization, what is globalization, what is inflation, etc. Next, current affairs. For current affairs, the most important thing that you can focus on is what's happening in the world right now. So if you just go to the news or what is everybody talking about, that's a question that will come. So right now, what is something that everybody is talking about? AI, right? And if you just go to the news, everybody is talking about DeepSeek and how China overturned the AI game and now they are winning it against the USA. So you should be focusing on this and know the different types of question that might come. So they might ask who is the CEO of DeepSeek, or they might ask who is Sam Altman, or they can ask anything. So just be well learned and have a curiosity to just go and see what are the different aspects of what's happening in the news. And also see how India is affected by all these factors that are happening in international level. So you have to learn to connect the dot. So right now DeepSeek is a major player. And then where is DeepSeek from? China. So things related to China can come in different questions as well. So it can come in geography, it can come in polity, it can come in environment. So there are different aspects. So China is in news a lot. So AI is in news a lot. So different aspects of AI. So they can ask in economics, they can ask in science and tech. So this is how you should connect the dots. Next, sports news is very, very important, especially football or any major tournament that is happening. Anyone from India that has won a major award in sports, or anyone from Sikkim who's won a major tournament in sports. For example, Tarundeep Rai. So he's a very famous person in sports. So sports news is very, very important. And sports news related to awards, theme of the day, and this depends on exams. if there's anything that has been discovered recently, first, largest. For example, just an example, let's say Russia comes up with the biggest fighter jet or the fastest fighter jet. Now that's something that will come in the exam, or it's most likely to come in the exam. For example, the state butterfly, Blue Duke, it was recently happened, so that is something that will come. Newest, new discoveries, so you have to focus on all of that. Okay, coming to science, very basic NCERT class 10 level. So this is something that you have to know. Maybe class 6 to class 10, very basic. You don't have to go to the depth. You don't have to understand any of the theories, the formulas. Very basic questions come, but you will have to do the breadth of it. So under biology, focus on human biology, cells, genetics, biotechnology of this, who discovered, what is genetic screening, who discovered genetic screening or PCRs. So very basic. Next is viruses, diseases. I think after COVID-19, they've started to put a lot of emphasis on knowing diseases, viruses, bacteria. So this is something that you should know. Next is chemistry, again class 10 level, very basic. Focus on acid, bases and salts, knowing the chemical name of famous chemical compounds such as plaster of Paris. So this is something that you should focus on. Physics, again the breadth, who discovered what, very basic level. Sound, magnetism, laws of motion. And science and technology, very, very important. This is because AI is something that's happening. Satellite, India is now coming in the forefront of space with the Chandra and moon landings. So this is something that you can expect a lot. Next is geography. Focus a lot on breadth of the syllabus. You can get asked from anything. You might get asked from what is this planet, how many moons are there in Saturn, or you can get asked from the atmosphere, layers of the atmosphere. You can get asked from world geography, Indian geography, resources, which mountain, lakes, rivers. So focus on completing the breadth, and the trick is to do as many MCQs as possible so that you don't miss out anything. So do as many MCQs. Well, do MCQs for everything, but especially for geography, because you can get asked from anything. Climatic zones, crops, passes, everything is important. Northeast geography, geography of Sikkim, all of these. For history, questions do come from ancient and medieval history, but a lot more from modern history. So the ratio would approximately be like 4:1. If every 4 questions come from modern history, then you can expect 1 or 2 questions from ancient or medieval history, but still important. So under modern history, you should focus on the British India era, Gandhian movement. This is very important. The freedom fighters, the associations that they formed, books they have written, the number of times who wrote the book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India has been asked. Focus on viceroys, World War II, post-independence. So modern history is super important. Next, polity. Again, focus on the breadth but basic questions. You can get asked from anywhere. Articles, amendments, writs, Supreme Court, governor, prime ministers, president, auditors, from anywhere. The constitution. So you should again do as many MCQs as possible so that all the basic concepts are in your head. A lot of international relations such as UNICEF, UNESCO, World Bank, all of these are very important as well. Next, environment. So for environment, focus on the key aspects of environment like pollution, air pollution, waste, water pollution, but also make sure that you connect each of this with current affairs. For example, Delhi comes a lot in the news with pollution. That's why I think they focus on pollution, especially with air pollution a lot. Different world level schemes under pollution, Montreal Protocol, Kyoto Protocol, these are very important. You have the climate change, global warming, IUCN, environmental related current affairs is super important. And finally, general awareness. So general awareness is mostly hit or miss, but you can focus on certain things such as who invented what, who discovered what, book knowledge, books written by women. So this is very important, women empowerment. It's more about just having a general curiosity of things and keeping your mind open. So follow some informative pages in YouTube, Instagram, and keep learning. So that's about with general awareness. And next, culture. So culture does come under ancient and medieval history, but because there are a lot of questions, so I just kept it separately. So focus a lot on dance forms, festivals of Sikkim, Buddhist festivals. A lot of questions come from Buddhist festivals, folk music, paintings, architecture, art and architecture, Northeast festivals. So all of these are very important. UNESCO heritage, and Sikkim, as you know, culturally is quite deep, so you should focus a lot on culture as well. And finally, ethics. This is again something that generally you should just keep an open mind, keep on learning, so you'll be able to do these questions as well. Alright, let's go a bit deeper and then see what we can take from this analysis. Tip number 1 from the analysis: focus on completing the breadth of the syllabus. Questions repeat from the same topic. You don't trust me? Here are a bunch of examples. So first is from combined recruitment mains. Question number 46, they've asked on vitamins, subtopic of biology. Question number 67, again vitamins. So if you miss the whole topic of biology and vitamins, 2 questions gone. Alright, here's another example. Economics, indexes, Niti Aayog. So a question on indexes, national level on question number 9, and then another question 48 but Northeast region, another again Niti Aayog. So if you had missed Niti Aayog as a topic, then another 2 questions gone. Now this is another question in SDG rank, same as the before 2 questions, but this had come in another exam, sub-fire mains in 2024. So you can just see the importance of indexes and economics and then why you should focus on it, right? Tip number 2, focus on the type of questions you're gonna get. So we all know that Paris Olympic was one of a big thing, sports, most likely questions in SPSC, right? But what from Paris Olympics? I mean, there's so many you can get asked, and you're gonna get asked multiple questions. But if you want to know what type of questions, then focus on the type of questions. The motto of Paris Olympics, this is the exam for photographer in 2024. Now in 2022 they had asked the slogan for FIFA World Cup. Motto, slogan, same thing, right? And this ranges across different exams. Let's take some more example. Again, photographer 2024, the theme for World Photography Day, assistant architect, the World Architect Day. So what day, what theme? And then if you gonna see one more question, the theme of World Cancer Day 2024. So if you're probably preparing for GDMO, or if you're preparing for staff nurse or other kind of medical, then theme of World Cancer Day or theme of such biologically related or medicine related days, right? That's what your focus should be on. Here you go. Again, Niti Aayog. They just love Niti Aayog. You can try and take a random guess of what the answer for question number 36 could be.
But that's my signature style.
Alright, tip number 3, the Venn diagram. Most likely topics. So this is called the word frequency calculator. It's a technique that involves counting how much of each word appears in a given collection of text. So if the word looks bigger, that means it has appeared a lot of times. You can see that current affairs is big, that means it has appeared a lot of time. And these smalls are mini topics, so definitely it's gonna appear small, but it does tell you what you should focus on: polity, geography, history, modern history. So this is just a general representation. I'll tell you how to look deeper into this, but this was something fun that I wanted to do, and since it's done using Python programming, it becomes less biased. So let's move on. For current affairs, what you should be focusing on is indexes, SDG, World Bank, Niti Aayog, okay? And if you're focusing on government initiatives, do focus on government initiatives of different states of India, especially Northeast, Sikkim. So whenever you're creating the Venn diagram, if you're focusing on Northeast, then it has to be focused on Sikkim as well. And if there are common initiatives, then this is the most likely, right? How we spoke about in the beginning of the video. Again, space tech, very important. AI, super important. Military tech, super important. Themes, famous days, depends on what exam you're writing. Sports related to football, or what the most happening thing in that year. For now, what's the most happening thing? AI, DeepSeek, right? So this is something that you should be focusing on. Some of our astronauts are stuck in space, so all of this is the most happening thing in the year. Ed Sheeran is coming to Sikkim, most happening thing. Women empowerment, super important. A lot of questions related to women and how they've done multiple achievements in their field. Focus on a lot of first this, largest, if it's the longest train, if it's the fastest train, if it's the largest bunker, whatever it is, focused on a lot of first. So if in the news, if you ever read first women entrepreneur to do this, then that's a question that might come. Or the largest satellite has been put in space. I'm just giving you a random example, something like this. So this is something that you should focus on. In biology, a lot of viruses, so current affairs related to viruses, diseases. I think this has gotten very common because of COVID-19, so they do focus a lot of these and whether you're well versed on these. And industries, locations, so current affairs related to new locations, industries. This comes under geopolitical geography or economic geography, right? So I'll just tell you, now that you've seen the Venn diagram and how you should be doing it, I'll tell you, let's move on. So I'll tell you how. So these are some of the snippets that I've taken. So Uttarakhand, which is kind of near northeast, so the Venn diagram will be northeast related, and then government initiatives. So this could be this, so most likely. Okay, again, this is AI, this is the most happening thing. Almost all news channels are talking about DeepSeek and AI and Sam Altman. So AI, tech, okay, and then world, international level. So this is again most likely. So Ed Sheeran, Sikkim, a big superstar coming. He had come in Bhutan, created a sensation there, the first international artist in Bhutan. So kind of related to Sikkim, northeast and all. So this is again most likely question. Women empowerment, sports, cricket, which is something very famous in India. So you can expect a question like, which country will host the 2025 women's ODI? So you can get multiple countries, and it's definitely India. So this is a very important current affairs that you should be taking care of. Sikkim archer Tarundeep Rai to lead the state at 38th National Games in Uttarakhand. Again, Uttarakhand's kind of near northeast, so at least in the north part region of India. And then Sikkim, our archer, multiple questions on Tarundeep has come. He's represented India in Olympics. If you look at the past year's paper, multiple questions. So this is again a most likely question. So this is how you sort out your current affairs and take out what's important from what's something that you should be using a lot of your cognitive energy in. Now, with this knowledge, what we aim to do is give you enough variety of questions that will help you with your GS. So I'm just going to give you a quick example here. If you go to physical geography, and if I take the solar system and beyond, and if I go to list by practice for MCQs, you can see the different questions that have been uploaded, but also you can see the different subtopics that are there. So if I click on light year, there are 3 different questions asked on light year, and this way we can give you a variety of questions without overloading you too much, and also give you enough practice to prepare you well for your
talent isn't enough. You've got to go put in the work.
Prelims. So that's the very reason that I did this exercise, so that we come closer to predicting the kind of questions that come for prelims, and also the fact that this is all probability and we might not be able to do it, but the more questions we add, the more variety of questions we add, the different Venn diagram kind of questions we add, then we might get closer to predicting, right? And another reason is to add flashcards. So flashcards, if you are able to choose the ones, just enough ones that are important, such as Elephanta Caves is a collection of, and then give you just enough, the ones that have constantly appeared in past year's paper, and then give you flashcards based on that, that will be helpful as well. So this does take time in designing, creating and adding MCQs, because we have to look at multiple books and multiple past year's paper, but it is worth the effort because then we can predict the questions.
Well then, I guess it's time to take it up a notch.
So all the best for your exams, and our GS course is live. We have expert faculty. If you want our notes that we've created, if you want the flashcards as well as the MCQs, then log into spacerevision.com and go get yours now.